now that we're meeting electronically. And so it says that the district is ensuring openness, transparency, accessibility, and accountability at this meeting by the following means. The meeting is being live streamed, and a video of this meeting will be available on the district's website for viewing on an on-demand basis. Because of the public health orders, we're prevented right now from having in-public attendance at any of our meetings. Would someone like to move that? Moved by Councillor Herford, seconded by Councillor French. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are meeting electronically, and so just a few reminders that when council members disconnect or reconnect, to please let me know so that this can be recorded in the minutes of the meeting. Council members are to identify themselves when they advise the chair that they wish to speak by raising their hand on video or saying chair if on audio only. With respect to a vote, council members are only required to state a nay vote, so I will only be asking the question as any opposed. Council members shall put the phone or computer on mute, and this applies to everyone, staff included, and guests, unless they're speaking. We do expect everyone to be on council to be involved and participate in the meeting. If you're having technical difficulties today, you can text. I'll put my number in the chat. Don't put your number in the chat, then everyone can see that. I've already done that. You can text Shar, and if we're having technical difficulties on this side, we'll recess for up to 10 minutes. So without further ado, we have a delegation today. Why is my camera on? Sorry. We have a proclamation request today that the District of Squamish proclaims February 1 to 7, 2021 as Provincial Eating Disorders Awareness Week. Someone that would like to move that? Councillor French moves, seconded by Councillor Stoner. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item is the 6A from Corporate Services, the Downtown Squamish Business Improvement Area Renewal. And so Ms. Pollock is presenting on this topic today. Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council. My name is Charlene Pollock. I am the Manager of Legislative Services, and I am here today to present on the Downtown Business Improvement Area Renewal request. And I've invited Carrie Neal and Edward Archibald with the Downtown Squamish Business Improvement Association to join the meeting. I'm not sure if they're on the on here or not, but they're if they are here, they answer questions about the association. And I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, can you see my screen?
We can, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the objective today is just to give a brief explanation of what a business improvement area is, to provide background information on the Downtown Squamish Business Improvement Association and the process for renewal of a BIA, and to obtain council direction on the renewal method. So a business improvement area is an area designated by council by bylaw in which businesses and property owners can finance effective marketing, promotional, and revitalization programs. The bylaw establishes a method and geographic area for collection of a bylaw. And in this situation, the levy is applied to owners of Class 6 properties in the business improvement area. The levy is collected through the property taxation system, and the levy is passed from the district to the Business Improvement Area Management Group. It should be noted there is no cost to the district and to taxpayers outside of the business improvement area. So it's just some history to the business improvement area. A business improvement area by way of a local area service was initially established by bylaw in 2006. and it has been renewed twice. So each time was for a 5-year term. Renewal of the business improvement area requires a new bylaw and a petition for or against process. The improvement area boundary has not changed since 2006 when it was established. And the levy has increased over time, most recently in 2016, and there was an annual increase of 2.5% each year. So the request from the association is for a further 5-year renewal. They're not changing the boundaries at all, and the annual request for the annual levy is $93,824 per year, and there's no annual increase over the 5-year term and no increase from 2020. So that is the levy for 2020. So engagement. Legislative services will handle public notifications that are required by legislation for the renewal process. And the association staff and board will communicate and present information to the business and property owners in the business improvement area regarding their achievements and plans moving forward. So the association has been provided, or information has been provided from the association regarding their renewal request, and was added to the agenda package yesterday. And plans moving forward for the association include a survey of members that helps them plan for the next 5 years, and strategy sessions planned for January. So next steps, following direction from council today, staff will draft a bylaw and bring it back for consideration of first 3 readings. That would likely be the first meeting in February. The petition letter to Class 6 owners in the business improvement area and ads would be drafted. And if bylaw readings are given, the next step will be to run the petition process. So this is really just the first step to establish the renewal process and to obtain council direction. More information will be provided on the petition process when the bylaw comes forward for first 3 readings. And I've got the staff recommendation here, and am available to answer questions if there are any.
Thank you, Ms. Pollock. Councilor Herford has a question.
Thank you. I was curious about the lack of sort of changing of the mapping, given that we have some new developments come online since 2006 and more coming in definitely within the 5-year term. I'm thinking down the end of Third Ave, where we on the map provided, there's sort of jogs around the property that we just allowed some retail use in the that's going to be online shortly, and as well the new development on just across the street on Pemberton Avenue. And in the 2000s, in the mapping provided, there's little red dots to show the businesses, and I just know that there's more coming. So as we lock into a 5-year term, just what's the thought process to stick with this current mapping?
So the map with the current boundaries, I'm just working with staff. That will be updated so that it is current and includes all of the the Class 6 properties. So that will be attached to the bylaw. As far as the boundaries and whether consideration has been given to expanding, I would have to leave that to Carrie or Edward to answer that.
Ms. Neal, do you want to speak to that?
Hi, Council. Thanks for your time. I would need, unfortunately, Edward is unable to make the call today, but it's definitely a question that I can go back to. It's not something that I have considered, but I will certainly get a response from Edward for you. Unfortunately, I can't answer that right now.
Thank you. Do you have a follow-up, Councillor Herford? I see your hand, Councillor Rice. I'm just...
Not particularly, but I do feel this is an important piece of information as we go forward to a 5-year term, and we have these two in particular properties coming online very shortly that seem to fit the bill with everything else that's used to decide where the lines are drawn. So, just curious.
Okay. Ms. Pollock, and then Councillor Rice.
Thank you. It is an option for the association if they choose to expand the boundaries down the road. There could be a separate bylaw and a separate process, or I believe that it could be merged, but it would be a separate process if the boundaries were expanded later after the bylaw is approved.
Councillor Herford.
Thank you, but at another point in the process, the boundary could be. Does it take us down a different approval path if we need to, if we would like to, if it's decided that those lines should be moved slightly?
No, through the mayor, it's possible before the bylaw comes forward, because that is part of the bylaw to have the boundaries. So that would be up to the association if they decide they want to expand those boundaries, then that would need to be part of the bylaw.
Okay, thank you.
But there's nothing, Ms. Pollock, that stops them from doing it partway through the 5-year term.
That is correct.
Councillor Rice.
Thank you. And actually, that issue has come up previously, particularly with respect to the 3 malls, Chieftain Mall, the one the Bank of Montreal's on, and also the one where Nestor's is. And it would seem intuitive that they should also be part of this because they would benefit from marketing. And I assume it's been considered, but I would also be interested in knowing if it's been considered and what the reason is for leaving the boundary as is.
Okay. So we'll bring that back when this comes back on the agenda again. Councillor Pettengill?
Just to clarify on the rationale for the boundary a little bit is, this is not us trying to achieve a particular objective. This is a collection of businesses that said, hey, would you pass this bylaw for us, and this is where we want to draw our own boundary. Is that correct, or do we have an interest in a specific boundary as a district?
Through the mayor, this is really a request that is driven by the association, and it's a request that comes through the district. And if they choose to expand the boundaries, it does take a certain amount of engagement. They would need to engage with, if they're looking to expand, they would need to go out and engage with those Class 6 property owners and just make sure they understand what the proposal is.
Do you have a follow-up, Councillor Pettengill? No? Any
No,
other
thank you.
questions? Okay, so there's staff recommendations. Councillor Stoner, you're moving that. Is there a seconder? Councillor Anderson seconds. Any comments? Councillor Stoner?
Yeah, I'll speak to it briefly. I appreciate all the work that the Downtown Squamish Business Improvement Area and Association do. I think there's been lots of really great work over the years, and excited to see what you do moving forward, recognizing that it's been a very challenging year in 2020 and you folks have had to pivot a lot on the things that you normally do. I too will be interested in just learning about the potential for expanding those boundaries, especially as our commercial areas downtown do expand. But I don't see a reason to delay this process, and that information can come back to us in due time. So happy to support this at this time.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Hartford?
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to see this come forward. Notwithstanding the questions I had around the mapping and whether it's a minor adjustment to incorporate some new developments or a larger discussion around malls or just like some context there. But I'm happy to support this, and thank you for all your hard work and keeping our downtown operating, and particularly noticeable this time of year with how bright and festive it is down there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Ms. Neal, thanks for joining us this afternoon, and I'm excited to see what your discussions and survey and strategic planning, what fruit they bear in the new year. And thank you for, downtown looks incredible. And if people haven't been down here in the evening, the lights really make a huge difference, and they extend further than I remember last year. So kudos to you guys, and thanks for being nimble in this challenging year. So hopefully 2021 brings us a few more opportunities to have some safe community events again. So thank you very much. Did you want to say something, Lucinda?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for those comments. I know it might not be the time, but I just wanted to address that we do appreciate your support, and yeah, it's been a year for everybody, and but I just need to speak from the businesses that truthfully they have just stepped up as well and engaged and done everything they can, and you know, as an association we're so proud of everybody involved. But thanks for your comments.
Thanks. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Ms. Neal. We're on to item 7, our consent agenda. If there's anything in which you are in conflict or that needs to be removed from the consent agenda, this would be the time to do that. Okay, does someone want to move the consent agenda? Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stoner. Any opposed? Motion carries. I can't believe that just happened. I think that is our record. I don't think since the beginning of our term we've ever made it past the consent agenda where someone hasn't pulled the letter. That is outstanding. Way to end the year on a high. Councillor Herford, too late. You can't pull anything now.
I just wanted a special shout out to Councillor Pettingill for letting that happen.
Yeah. Thank you for your forbearance, Councillor Pettingill. No, joking aside, that's what it's for. People need to pull things, but anyway, efficiency too. Item 8, correspondence. We have action requested for a letter from R. Hans about Britannia Avenue Alley, that be referred to engineering for a response. Councillor Race, did you want to speak to this, or do you have a question?
I'd like to speak to it. First of all, I used to own an interest in that particular property that's mentioned there, 38756, and had previously declared a conflict for matters in the immediate area of this. So I just wanted to, I don't have an interest anymore, haven't had for a couple of years, but I don't think it's come back since I sold the property. So I just wanted to formally withdraw my declaration of conflict as a result of an ownership interest in 38756 Britannia Avenue. And I didn't have a question. No, I'm now, having done that, I'm prepared to move the recommendation.
Thank you. That's moved by Councillor Race, seconded by Councillor French. Any comments? Any opposed? Motion carries. We have a letter from J. Larcombe about ditches in Garibaldi Highlands, and the staff recommendation is that this be referred to engineering for a response. Moved by Councillor French, seconded by Councillor Herford. Any opposed? Motion carries. And then finally, correspondence from M. Hackett about a solution for book recycling or reuse, and that this be referred to engineering for response. Councillor Hurford, you're moving that. Seconded by Councillor Pettengill. Any opposed? Motion carries. In section 9, approval of minutes, we have a recommendation from committee of the whole that council direct staff to bring forward the District of Squamish official community plan bylaw amendment, bylaw number 2735/2020 for council's consideration. I'll move that. Is there a seconder? Can people hear me? You're seconding that? Okay. Thank you. I'll call the question. Any opposed? Councillor, I'm sorry, I can't see Councillor Stoner, so I'm going to start again. There's a recommendation from the committee of the whole that directs staff to bring forward the District of Squamish official community plan amendment bylaw number 2735/2020 for council's consideration. I'll call the question. Any opposed? Councillor Race, Councillor Pettengill, Councillor French, and Councillor Herford opposed. Motion failed. Next up, the committee of the whole receive and provide feedback on the short-term rental interim temporary use permit policy dated December 8th. There's a number of bullet points there, and that council directs staff to finalize and bring back the short-term rental interim temporary use permit policy for final endorsement prior to active enforcement of the STR rental bylaw on April 1st. By Councillor French, seconded by Councillor Stoner. Any opposed? Motion carried. With no business arising. Which motion have I missed? We just did that one. Oh. Sorry, I thought this was all the same one. There's one missing then. This says solid waste composition, but there's no motion related to solid waste there in my agenda.
Oh.
This is no good. Sorry, we did miss one. So the one on the solid waste composition and recycling regulation update. The council received the following for information: the 2020 waste composition audit results and the feedback submitted to the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change in response to the recycling regulation policy intention paper. Moved by Councillor Stoner, seconded by Councillor Herford. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for that catch. Motion to terminate by Councillor Pettengill. Oh no, you weren't terminating.
No.
What?
No, Mayor, I apologize. On 9I, I found myself really confused about what was happening there. I'm not sure process-wise what to do, and I'm not even sure how I ended up voting, to be honest, on that last one. I put my hand up and down a couple times.
Councillor oppose or Pettengill oppose on 9-1? Yes, you opposed it.
Okay, that was not my intention. I think that would be a change from I think I supported that motion at the committee of the whole, and that was my intention. Again, I'm not sure if I have any recourse at this point.
I have the option to bring it back for reconsideration. Maybe we could get an explanation from staff if this fails. That puts an end to the application.
I'd have to look to our corporate officer if. Because
Council's current understanding is that if this motion fails, it does not come back for consideration. It's been decided at a special meeting that it would not be coming back for consideration.
That's right. Yeah. So the option is to bring it back for reconsideration. And Councillor Pettengill can put forward a motion if he wants to bring it back for reconsideration, and then Council would vote on that. And
do we need a strong majority or just?
it has to be, Councillor can bring it back if they voted majority. If he did, or you can just put it on.
So,
Okay. So for clarity, if you have the option, Councillor Pettengill, of bringing this back for reconsideration because you are in the majority who voted against.
okay.
For clarity, the understanding is that if this motion fails, the application stops at this point.
And so so that is, okay, so that's what so this is a different vote than we had at the committee of the whole.
Committee of the whole is to move it up to a regular or a special business meeting, right?
Yeah,
Committee of the whole provides advice to council.
Yep.
They've provided advice that staff bring it forward for council's consideration.
Okay.
This meeting, you can choose to support that recommendation of committee of the whole, or you can decline to support it.
And so if we decline, the discussion on this property is done for a while anyway.
Correct.
Okay, so that was my intent then, and I apologize. I thought I was on top of this.
So you were on top of it without knowing?
I think so. I was thinking I had enough information at the committee of the whole that I didn't want to proceed with this application.
Okay, and you voted the way that you intended.
Okay, thank you. And I apologize.
It's okay. Had a long afternoon, and it's okay to ask questions. All right, so are you okay with your vote? So you're not bringing it back for reconsideration?
I think so, yes.
Okay, all right, great. Now, take a motion to terminate. By Councillor Herberg, seconded by Councillor Stoner. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are back tonight at 6 o'clock.